Concerned about the arts in our community. And I'm filled with gratitude for the artists, the art supporters, the educators who make our city and our parish a vibrant, creative place to live. We want to solicit input and also provide some guidance and technical assistance in helping to expand the arts across our community. We cannot do that alone. We need everybody's involvement. We have to focus on a clear communicating process. We need to be building relationships and increasing opportunities for artists in our community. And to that account, we are doing that. We're ensuring that artists and cultural organizations feel supported, informed, and connected. Again, I thank you for your presence here tonight. And we can do it well together. Sometimes what is sent out and what is received are not always one and the same. But we have to keep that in mind, that we are doing this for the benefit of our community. And with that, I would like to bring the Executive Director of the Shreveport Regional Arts Council, Rebecca Bonnevere.
Thank you, Henry. Henry, as he said, is the president of Shreveport Regional Arts Council, and he's been a leader in our community for a very long time. He himself is an artist. He also is the coordinator for Caddo Parish, the arts, and he's been providing great support and leadership to our organization and to our community for a long time, so thank you very much. I am Rebecca Bonnevere. I'm the Executive Director for Shreveport Regional Arts Council, and I'm very blessed to be here. Thank you so much for this opportunity to share with you and to be with you. I do want to thank the City of Shreveport and Legends for allowing us to be in this beautiful building, to give us a place where we can speak freely, a neutral place that we can share, and it's a beautiful historical place, but we want everyone to be comfortable and to feel heard. I do want to thank also the Shreveport Regional Arts Council board that's here and our staff. Most importantly, I want to thank you for coming on a Thursday night and to share your voices and to share your concerns, to share your emotions, your ideas. It's very important. And it's something that we want to hear. I do want to let you know that this particular forum is to strictly talk about AI in the arts. We won't be exploring other topics. There are other vehicles for you to use if you have other concerns that you would like to share with us or questions that you have. But tonight, in order to make progress, we want to make sure that we stay focused on the topic, which is AI in the arts. In preparation, we've done a lot of research on other organizations, art organizations in the state, in the country, and what we're finding out is that even though AI has been around for a long time, there is not a lot of written policy on AI in the arts. There's a lot of verbal policies, and there are even written policies that we see include terms that can be vague, such as used with ethics, but no definition of what that means. And so it's really important for us to have this conversation so that we can learn, we can find ways to be able to support you as a community. We can come up with programs and policies so that we can all move forward together, supporting you and supporting one another. I do want to say that SRAC is celebrating 50 years this year, and I think that's important because over 50 years there's been a lot of wins, and I'm not here to just promote all of the programs and the things that we've done with the artists. We have information here if you want statistics and things like that. We're not taking your time to promote SRAC right now. We're here to listen. But I do want to say that over 50 years, SRAC has used every challenge and every opportunity to learn and grow and serve. And I promise you that a result from tonight will be to be able to grow and to serve you better. I do also want to say that if you are not currently participating with SRAC programs, this is an open invitation for you to become more involved. If you're not on Culturalist, we want you to be on Culturalist so that your work is recognized and that we're able to find you to help you get work. Participate in critical mass, to do different things. We want you to participate. And as a matter of fact, the last Monday of this month, which is January 26th, we're hosting a meeting for Northwest Louisiana artists to come. I invite you to come. It is at Art Space. And we want to hear from you tonight, and we want to hear from you into the future, and we want to work with you. So it's an open invitation. I do want to introduce to you our facilitator for tonight, and I want you to know that we hired a professional facilitator because not only do we want to be in a space that's neutral so that you're comfortable, we want you to be able to speak with someone that makes you comfortable, that helps draw out your opinions opinions. And so we hired a woman. Her name is Brooke Foy. She is a professor at ULM, and she is an artist. She is a sculptural artist. She is, I think she's brilliant, but the most important thing is she's very good at bringing out topics and bringing conversations together. And like I said, that's what we're here for. So with that, I'd like to introduce Brooke Foy. I don't know where, oh, here she is. Brooke, come on up, and we'll turn it over to Brooke then. Thank you.
Thank you. This is an amazing group. Look around. This is wonderful. You're here for a reason, and I think that the impact of that says a lot. Okay? Like was said, my name is Brooke Foy. I am here to help facilitate conversation. Today is about conversation. Thank you, Shreveport Regional Arts Council, for hosting this event, hosting this opportunity to discuss. Thank you to the arts community for showing up. Thank you for coming prepared. Maybe you are here and you have thoughts, you have ideas. Maybe you're here to learn. But we're gonna get started, and I'm excited to do that with you. I'm proud to stand here as an artist, as a community member of a community. This says a lot about you as artists. It says a lot about your community that you want to have these conversations. You've spoken up. Your voice has been heard. I'm thankful that you're here, okay? The first thing that I want to do is I want to talk, I have control of the slides. The first thing that I want to do is talk about my role, okay? You aren't going to hear anything about me other than what I'm here to do. My role, I am not here to represent or endorse the Shreveport Regional Arts Council. I am not here to represent an arts community, and I am not here to express a bias. But what I am here to do is to facilitate conversation. And I believe in conversation. I am a collaborative artist. This is what we do. We communicate. You communicate. And tonight is all about communication. I want you to know that in my role, I am taking this very seriously, that we are able to talk about the things. And I've got a lot of slides up here for us to go through. I just have to remember to flip through them. Let's talk about our purpose, why we're here, because I've already said this conversation matters. That's why we're here. Shreveport Regional Arts Council has created this to listen, to learn, and to then meet your needs. That is what I have understood as your facilitator. That is what I understand the mission for this is to be. But not only is Shreveport Regional Arts Council doing those things, my hopes are, in my role, is that everyone in this room is here to do the same thing. To listen, to learn, to have our minds blown maybe, to go home with a vigor, to learn more, and to do more, and to be better, and whatever that means. But we have some main goals tonight. Okay? These are the only 4 things we're focused on tonight. Creating a space for conversation. Sharing knowledge, because in a minute you're going to have the opportunity. Everyone is allowed to share. We are going to have to manage time, and we are going to have to move around. We have 2 microphones tonight. Other than mine, you can't have mine, sorry. Yes, Xavier's in the back, and Taylor, nope. Oh, Natorsha and Xavier, they both have the mics, okay? So what we're gonna do, and we'll get to that in a minute. Let me finish our goals, okay? So we're gonna create a space for conversation. We have done that. We are here, and this place is amazing, by the way. We're gonna share knowledge, and we're gonna express ideas based on experience. Now that's very important. We're not hypothesizing. Last but not least, we're going to listen to perspective, to all of them. I will listen. I will be your best role model up here. I will listen, and I will not give you an answer. There's no answers tonight, okay? I need to emphasize strongly that we're all on the same page here. Those are our goals. If by chance you're here and you have another goal, I'd like to ask you to just pause, take a breath, and think about how we can move forward with achieving all of our goals while meeting these goals here, because that's how we get to the best end result. That's how we leave the room tonight and we feel like we've accomplished something. Okay? Sound good? I'm an engaged conversationer here, okay? Those are our goals. We're gonna do it together. Let's set some ground rules, some guidelines. I'm a rule follower. Raise your hand if you're a rule follower. That's not a bad percentage. That's not bad. Raise your hand if you don't mind stepping outside those boundaries a little bit. Good. I'm already feeling good about this. Okay? I'm okay with that. We're not going to go to the rule breakers. Y'all just keep it to yourself. Let's set some guidelines, okay? I am going to ask of you certain things, and I have expectations for you. When I teach, I tell my students, you better have expectations of me. And I'm going to give you mine. I'm going to give you what I think you should expect of me. Here's what I expect of you. Every single person in this room. Speak from experience. Speak from what you know. Next, I need you to disagree with ideas if you must, but not people. That one's a big one. It is great to disagree with ideas, with words, but not people. We're going to build on comments. That is going to be important because as I bring up topics for discussion, We would like to be able to feed off of each other. Oh, you know, build on what someone else has said, okay? That can be helpful. Last but not least, our guidelines are tonight, we're not seeking answers. That might be hard for some people. We want answers now. But we're not seeking answers, okay? We are having conversation and we're gathering knowledge. Because as was stated before, this is so that we can learn, that we can listen, and we can then create things that matter to you, those things that meet your needs. Tonight is about talking about topics, sharing your ideas, your info, your input, your experiences, and then when we leave here, the people who have set this up, the Shreveport Regional Arts Council, will gather all of the information that you have so graciously provided, and they will create policies that help you to do what you do best, that help them to do what they do best, and help us all to feel like we are in a more welcomed space. So those are our guidelines. I'm going to hold you to those guidelines all night long. I'm going to do my best. I'm loud. I don't mind speaking. It's probably why I'm here. Does anyone need clarification on those guidelines? Was that a yes? Back there in the, could you? Okay. I can't help you clarify if you're way back there. Okay. Hopefully we'll do a good job here. Now, let's talk about thank you for having me. Let's talk about what I believe you should expect of me. My job, my task, I will encourage a safe space in discussion. I will invite multiple perspectives. I want so many voices to be heard tonight. I don't want the same 3 voices to be heard. I don't want the same 2. I want lots. I will invite new perspectives when I think it is necessary. That being said, that's when we start to have the same things repeated. I might call on you if you look like you're introspective and you might have something to say. Last but not least, not last. I'll remind you to build on comments. Last but not least, I will intervene if necessary. As a facilitator, I need us to progress the conversation. I will intervene if the following things are situational. If the tone of the conversation is going in the wrong direction. We all know how to have conversations, and we all understand that if the tone goes in the wrong direction, we don't make progress. If we're running out of time because I have each slide timed. We have this much time. As we get there, I might have to stop. I might have to pause you. I might have to say, it's time for us to move on to the next topic. I will intervene if we lose focus. The reason why there are slides is simply to keep us focused on the topic, because tonight we're going to walk up some stairs and we're going to walk down some stairs. We're going to build up to the really deep stuff, and then we're going to work our way back down to where we're all ready to go home and end our night. And I got to keep us focused. I will intervene if there's mic dominance. That's probably not going to happen because there's a lot of you in here, but I want all the perspectives to be heard. So I want lots of you to raise your hand in a little while and give your feedback, your thoughts. Last but not least, it's probably not going to happen, but if I need to de-escalate, I'm going to intervene from right here. I'll do my best. I might sing a song to distract you, which is not pretty, so let's stay away from singing, okay? It's not pretty. Thankfully, my daughter got that. Now, are we ready to proceed with conversation?
No.
Me too. Let's get started. This is a warm-up, okay? Xavier, could you come on this side, and Natorsha, could you come on this side up here in the front? As you can see, now some of you have the agenda, it's a printed agenda, that breaks you down through every slide we're gonna look at. You can kind of be thinking about things you might want to talk about. If you don't have one, I'm sure I could find someone to bring you one if you need one. There are about 15 more slides. If you would like to speak, now this first one's not going to be a problem, but if you would like to speak and I don't see that maybe your hand is up, feel free to stand. That might be the easiest way for not just me, but Xavier and Natorsha to see you. Just stand. You can raise your hand, you can stand, you can wave. Please don't verbally interrupt them, okay? So for our warm-up, I would like for the microphone to start probably this handsome gentleman in the white hoodie right here. He's just gonna hold it. Natorsha, will you hand that to that gentleman? Everybody has already read the slide. It says, how do you feel about AI in the arts? This is a one-word response. One word. It's quick, it's to the point, and it is going to allow all of us to go ahead and get that first word out. You can choose to do it or you can pass. Not yet. Not yet. I think you can go. Go ahead.
Challenged.
And we're going to pass that microphone. Let's pass it. That's fine. Let's try that. Let's pass it back. If you do not want to speak, you just pass it to the next person. Not a problem.
Counterintuitive. Lazy. Angry. Lazy times 2.
Cheated.
Potential. Inevitable.
We can repeat words. That's okay. Apprehensive. That was also my word.
Plagiarized.
Possible.
Oh, I had inevitable.
Xavier, do we want to go right here?
Threatened.
Anti-human.
Disagree. Wrong.
Uncertain. Tedious.
Violated.
Hopeful. Concerned. Subjective. Betrayed.
Colonized.
Future.
Obstreperous.
Can I get that in a sentence?
Homogenized. Chastised.
Consent and contradiction.
Interested.
Disrespected. Theft.
Afraid.
Challenge.
weaponized,
hallucinatory,
detrimental,
happening,
desecrating,
slave to technology, inhuman, stolen,
Inquisitive.
Unregulated.
Nervous.
open,
robbed,
Tool. Complicated. Fraught.
Possibilities.
Unsustainable.
Fascinated.
Tool.
deluded,
enigmatic,
Conflicted.
Confused.
confused,
Inevitable.
poisonous,
Frustrated.
Frustrated.
Trepidous. Unmitigated.
unregulated,
accessibility,
Transparent. Did anyone not get to share? That's pretty powerful. And that sets our climate. That helps us to feel it. All of them are valid. Everyone. Everyone is understood. Some of them are interesting responses. Thank you for sharing. And those of you that didn't feel comfortable with or maybe didn't have a word on mine, that's okay too. So let's just think about that word for a minute. How does that set the stage for where we want this conversation to go? Do we want to feel better about that word? Do we want to change that word? The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit longer of a response. For tonight, I'm going to set standards for how long of a response we can give so that more people can respond and we can stay on our time frame. So for this one, for that one was a one word, that was quick. We did it in our time frame. Well done. Good job. For this one, I'm going to ask that we give 10 to 20-second responses. Our prompt says AI today. And it says, let's get personal. But I mean that. I mean that your response needs to be personal. Where does AI exist today for you? You can give concrete responses, concrete experiences. Share where you observe it, where you interact with it, where you engage with it, where you push it away. Some other places we might be able to think about that existing is in processes, in inspiration, in our work, in our creativity. If you would like to raise your hand, or if you would like to stand. Xavier? We'll do this one first. You can go ahead and hand the mic over there. We'll do that one next.
Hi, y'all. I think with determining and talking about how we would use AI today, or how we could, especially in the arts, that's what the conversation is about, that we must go into this conversation remembering that it is up to us, the artists, and the illusion of power can be tricky in these conversations, but places like our Arts Council, whose funding is through grants, they rely on us. And we can have a conversation, but we also came here with demands, and we can retract our labor, our art.
I'm gonna go ahead and interrupt you. Thank you for.
You get the point.
Thank you for standing
Keep that
up.
in mind, guys.
Thank you for standing up. I appreciate your response. Let's answer the question. Let's have a conversation. Where does AI live in your personal life? This is acknowledging where it is. Go ahead.
So in my personal life, I, as someone who's in both tech and arts, use it as more for mapping out thoughts and use it as a system to express my thoughts as an assistant, not more as an overseer or administrative tool. I still have my own autonomy, which is something that's being taken away from the artist through like a lack of consent, like I was saying. Hence the art funding and art grants, which we all pay for through tax dollars. We're not being provided proper consent to have any marginal say on this issue, which is where the inherent problem lies and the paradox of this meeting. Because if we're not looking for solutions for something we're paying for,
Okay,
we're
thank
just
you.
talking in circles.
I'm going to interrupt you as well.
That's fine.
It's just a question. We can't get to the solutions in this room today. Let's go back to our guidelines here. Let's go back to the point of tonight. I don't mind repeating them. I don't mind going back. I don't mind going back to our goals as well, our purpose, our goals, but I shouldn't. This has a purpose, and the purpose was stated, and I'm very happy to hear from you. I appreciate your immediate response, sharing where it was, for sure. Now, 10 to 20-second responses, and then we need to move on because now we've already chunked out some of our time. Where does AI exist? Please either stand up or raise your hand. I'm sorry, I see you now. Go right ahead.
For me personally, I would say it's often in creative spaces like YouTube and used in advertisements. That's where I see it most often. I work in the financial sector. It hasn't quite hit me there yet in my role, but I would say YouTube, music compilations. I was in a cafe and I saw just an AI video while I was eating.
Thank you. Where do you see it? That's what I'm asking for. We have someone here. We have someone right here down in front. Xavier, oh, you have one back there as well? Okay.
Should I go?
Go right ahead.
Where it shows up in my life is I'm a teacher. I teach communications and writing and professional writing genres, and a lot of that is a mixture of visual and textual work. And so I'm just interested in thinking about how to teach my students, how to think with my students about what this is going to do to their work. And I'm struggling with how to help them think through that because it's so new and things are changing all the time. So
Thank you. We'll go to the back.
The question that people are really interested in is whether or not SRAC is going to address the
Thank you.
concerns of art workers in
I'm going to go ahead and interrupt you again. Thank you. If anybody would like to answer the question, we have someone right down here. We have two, actually. Oh, Natasha, you have someone? That's perfectly fine.
As a business owner, I work with other business owners consistently, so AI saves us time. It allows us to work through mind problems that we struggle with within hours as opposed to days that we would do by ourselves. So we use AI to make sure that we're managing our marketing. We use it to make sure that we are actually building out our programs the way that we want it, and we can do it in a time constraint, as opposed to a lot of the, waiting and trying to build it on our own. So we have that conversation.
Thank you. Xavier, will you? Oh, you have one back there. Natasha, we have a couple up here. We'll go ahead and do the one in the back right there. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll play along. So as of a year ago, I was a graphic designer in an advertising firm. I was encouraged to use AI images through iStock, and for a lot of reasons of my own choosing, I don't work there anymore because I believe that AI images, as of right now, is theft.
Thank you. Natasha, right here.
Hi, I'm an art student. I go to school up in New York City, and I've actively, in my life, seen AI slowly turn into something my professors tell me is actively stealing possible jobs for me. As a graphic design student and as an acting student and as a musician, I have seen AI take up jobs that I could have fulfilled and I could have actually worked in. So that's how I see AI in my personal life.
Thank you. We have two down here. We have one back there. We can take probably two, maybe three more. Go ahead, in the back. Right here.
Hi, I am an environmental policy and justice worker, and I have personally seen AI destroy Black and brown communities, and I have personally seen it pollute and drain water supply. I have personally been impacted by it, by losing jobs and my friends losing jobs from it, not just in the art space. And for anyone interested in learning how it actually works, feel free to see me after the meeting.
Thank you. We'll do these two in the front right here.
For me, AI, it makes us lazy. And I see it on TikTok, I see it on Instagram, and it also, for me, it makes it difficult for me to know what's real and what's not.
Thank you.
Can we get over here?
We are in the unenviable position of a couple having to talk about how to raise the baby when it's a half-grown hormonal adolescent. We're all using AI every day, whether we realize it or not. And we need clearly defined boundaries set, and we need them fast, so that this new technology is simply a tool and does not become our master.
Thank you for your responses. We can take one more.
I'm Brittany Hazelton. I worked in journalism at KSLA News 12. In my time working there, I've seen a lot of news stories regarding AI, including chronic use of it causes very bad cognitive decline in people who use it. I also have witnessed many people, artists, digital artists especially, losing their jobs, unable to work as artists anymore.
Thank you. I appreciate your
And it is
response.
also appearing in journalism.
Thank you. So those are some places where we see AI. And as you can see, there are a lot more responses that could have been said. Let's take the conversation, and we're gonna need to stay with sort of similar style lengthwise responses. But here's where I want to be a little bit more specific with the response, okay? So let's do a show of hands quickly. How many of you are in the visual arts? Raise your hand. Thank you. How many of you are in the literary arts? And you can obviously raise your hands for multiple ones if you are. How many of you are in the performing arts? What about video arts? Okay, I'm gonna ask for 2 responses from each category on how we can compare creativity and originality in what you do per your field. I'm going to stop you if it's not a concrete example. Tell me how AI impacts something, how it creates something, how it takes a... Tell me something concrete in the fields in one of those fields. So let's start, just to give us some guidance here so we can manage it a little bit, let's start with the visual arts. Can anybody share a personal on how AI impacts or affects or anything creative and imagination, originality? Right here, and then I have another, anyone else in visual arts? Let's go, would you like to go? Okay, we'll go right here and then we'll go right here. We'll do a third one right there in the back. Go right ahead.
Thank you. I use the AI in my artist statements and that sort of thing. I key in the words, and I'm sorry to the writing professor back there, because I'm not very good at that. So I use it for that, not for my artwork itself, but just for my statement.
Thank you for sharing that.
It's an imitation that requires innovation. I'm an innovator, not imitator. I don't use it.
Thank you. Yes.
I'm a teacher, and I've had students use it in class, and they usually can do something original faster manually and analog than they can using AI. So it's a good lesson for them to see how terrible it really is at being original.
Thank you. Now let's jump to literary arts. Who wants to speak to literary arts? And if you don't, that's okay, if we don't have any. Can I have a show? I'm gonna need a hand. Okay, I've got one over here. Yes. Okay, I am trying to look for lots of voices, remember? So I'm gonna call on different people. Let's come to this group right here in the middle. And then Natorsha has one over there. Natorsha, let's do yours first. Go right ahead, please.
Good evening. So I am an artist, a literary artist and an educator on sabbatical, and part of what put me on sabbatical was the battle of trying to discern my students' written work. It used to be, honestly, I could copy and paste it and realize they just found it on Google, but now I cannot tell where it's from. So that was something we're seeing now, that AI is much faster than our response to it and our framework for it. And I just needed to take a break and step back completely from that because I didn't know how to deal with it. But as an artist personally, I don't use AI per se, but educators do. It helps us to create questions. It helps us to make lesson plans faster. It is a tool, and it's inevitable, and it's here. And I think the creativity piece, we can't look for that to come from a council or anyone above us. We have to do this at the family grassroots level and teach our children and teach each other that this is taking away from us if we feel that we are unable to create without this crutch.
I appreciate your response.
Hi, I'm a little nervous, so forgive me. My name is Joe. I am currently getting my bachelor's degree to become a paralegal and will eventually go into law school. And so far in my classes, we've had to read a lot and write a lot. And in some of my classmates' responses, I can tell when some of them are using AI because it's obvious, and I can tell when all of them are being original.
Thank you.
And we also use AI in like a database that pulls cases that already exist. So it's not creating cases, but there are lawyers who use AI to stuff their cases, and they ended up getting disbarred or they face some kind of repercussions because the cases are fake. So I do think there need to be regulations on AI, because if not, the justice system will eventually collapse because it will have no stability.
Thank you for sharing. I will ask, please keep your experiences to your personal experiences. It's more helpful. I would like to know where it exists in your realm. This is our last one for literary arts.
And so I'm another educator, and I mean, I write as well, but I'm going to go more into the education side of it. I think it helps to provide scaffolded assignments to your students so that they have to prove that they can do all the things. But also, and I guess piggybacking off of the law stuff, is that it's also affecting science writing. And I mean, this is also the fault of the journal, and I forgot the name of the journal, but they totally let some AI stuff slip through with like completely hallucinated sources and facts, and it's just really scary that like peer-reviewed journals have fake hallucinated AI stuff in them.
Thank you. I do want to encourage us to consider taking notes if there are things that you're hearing that you want to go home and research or explore a little bit further. Let's dive into performing arts or video arts. Does anybody want to share how it is impacting creativity? I've got one right here, and then let's do this one right back here. If you don't mind, stand up. That'll help them to get to you. Yes, you. Go right ahead.
I am a 15-year-old who is doing theater, and I would also consider myself an artist, and I would say that I find there has been a big issue nowadays with AI ending up in animation, which is what I want to do when I'm older. I want to go into animation and theater and stuff like that, and I'm worried that when I'm older, my job, my future career will be taken over by AI, taking the entertainment side of things, and people finding themselves more interested in AI art than they are in watching people do theater and watching indie animation that could be helping people and giving them money to fund their lives and stuff like that.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
I'm a playwright, and one of the biggest things that affected my life when it comes to AI is during the writer's strike. One of the things they asked for was for AI to for it to not exist in any processes dealing with like generative AI, specifically being able to take scripts. And when I heard that, at the time I was shopping my own script around, and I hadn't done any like copyright or anything like that. And the first thing I did after hearing that was go to the US Library of Congress and get my work copyrighted, because I'm about to be sending my work off to all of these different studios and theaters, and without the precautions put in place that they were fighting for with the writer's strike, my work could have just easily ended up in the bin, and I could have seen something similar down the line. And the idea of that happening at all is the scariest thing to me. I spent 3 years working on my script, and so the idea that it could just become slop in an AI machine is terrible.
Thank you for sharing that with us. It is quite profound to hear very personal aspects of your lives where you do feel impacted, where you do feel like it affects, whether it's helping, whether it's hindering, whether it's an actual aid or a prop or an exercise of some sort. These are educational moments. With our next topic, I want to ask your responses to be about the history, which will lead us to the topic above. If you have knowledge and understanding and expertise, maybe, on the history of artificial intelligence, where did it begin? And I want us to get to where it is. So I would like to be educated. Where did artificial intelligence begin? Where are we now? How did we get here? I only have 5 minutes for this slide, and this is probably gonna need 2 people. Right here, and then let's do this lady in the middle. I can only call on 2 people.
So, as for the history of art with AI,
the history of art with AI.
Well, this is AI. This is AI. AI raped DeviantArt of a lot of artists' work without their permission. And that's how it started scraping art. And not just DeviantArt, but other major art sites and Google. So if you had anything ever posted, it scrapes and it trains off their art. And then Adobe added to their user agreement that if you make something in AI or in Adobe, it is immediately added to their AI.
Okay, thank you for your response. And we have one in the middle back here.
Thank you. I would just like to say you asked a very complex question, and it does require like a very layered response.
Sure.
And so in order to get a full understanding, I do think he should be able to speak because AI is complex. So what I can speak to is to the present, and I'm going to talk about the environmental impact because it has implications across AI as a whole, including art.
Am I correct though that you've already spoken about the environmental impact?
No, I haven't actually. I talked about my present, so this is a different question, so I'm giving you a different response. So my response is data centers, right? AI operates off of like data centers. There are different types of AI. There's generative, there's like all these different types. And so AI, and I love you to death, my girl, is not inevitable. AI is intentional, right? These companies like OpenAI, they are opening data centers, right? So the metadata center in Richland Parish, right? It's basically like a huge, imagine like 70 football fields. And it is a building filled with like basically supercomputers, right? And they require water supply in order to cool down the systems and somewhat operate the systems, which also means they have to tap into the land resource in the area that it's in. And so when we're talking about AI and where we are now, in Louisiana specifically, we are looking at massive data center projects all across Louisiana that are being built, Meta leading the charge on that. And we are looking at 3 large energy complexes, right? 3 large power stations to be able to fully operate the data centers, right? So when you're utilizing AI and you're producing the outputs, what's happening from an artist, right? This gentleman spoke. Unless you have something copyrighted, when you put a input into like a generative AI system, you are basically giving permission to that organization to utilize your work in order to produce other outputs for other people who are using that generative AI. Now there are other tools, and I think he may be able to give more of like a technical detail about it, but the reason I brought up the environmental impact is because it is relevant because, and I'm finishing, I promise you. Louisiana is already home to Cancer Alley. I grew up in an area where Calumet is. AI is poisoning Black and brown communities because not only is it draining the water supply, it's dumping the waste from that water supply back into those communities, and then it's also polluting the air, and there's like so many different types of ways that could be happening. But I just wanted everybody to know that for one output, right, on like a generative AI like ChatGPT, that's about 10 bottles of water for one output.
Thank you.
So I just thought that he should maybe give more detail about it.
I appreciate your voice on that. Before is there anyone who would like to respond to what has been said? And that's fine. Okay, we can go over here. Xavier?
Thank you for taking the time, and no disrespect at all. Like I said, I've worked in tech and arts. I've been performing in churches, gospel choirs since I was 14. I've done tech since IT stuff since I was 18. I've gone through college doing software engineering. I was computer science club president. I restarted. I helped work at the Ag Center. I've also worked at Asteria, which was a local startup around town, helping source the art supplies and setting their whole network infrastructure. There, I also worked under one of the people who helped architect the actual TCP, the actual implementations of the internet that all this uses at the University of Southern California during the 1970s to 80s when they invented DNS, Google turning into an IP address. Point being, I have a good architectural understanding of how this stuff was coming to form. When I worked at LSUS, I worked under the chair of the department there for 6 months before they passed away from the University of Alabama. He was the head and the chair of the AI department there. I was doing Perl scripting under him, learning AI techniques like heuristic analysis and stuff. And all these things can be used as a good administrative and assistant tool to the artist and to y'all as a workforce. I'm not opposed to it. Like I just said, it's contradictory as all in the way that's being implemented without consent. The problem is we're taxpayers, we fund this council. What is the point of an arts council without the humanist aspect of the art? When we detach that and any consent of the human from the art, we're defeating the purpose of the arts in general.
Thank you.
And the last thing I was going to say, thank you for taking the time, is the authenticity relating to what you said before. And I do performing arts as well. If I'm using AI, it comes down to authenticity as well as liability and attribution. If I'm not properly attributing where I'm getting these sources from, and I have no way of knowing that or controlling the inputs to what I'm outputting for my ideas, I have no source to say that I am the original author of this idea. I can only say I helped architect it. I did not build it or construct it. And that's the problem here, is offloading a lot of this as a way to, like everyone's complaining about, get rid of labor and essentially the actual source of the ideas, which is the inherent problem, copyright and attribution.
Thank you for sharing all that. I would like to ask if there is a different perspective. Okay. Well, I have one back there too. I was trying to decide if either of them had already spoken. You have. So has she. Yes. I apologize. Let's go right here.
I just wanted to point out that when we use words like meta, it's not just AI. It's Facebook. It's social media. So when we're talking about the big farms and all of those things, it's not necessarily AI that's causing that. That's a causation of man building their businesses. So that's the only thought that I had in that. Thank you.
I have to move on because we are way past our time. I'm sorry. This doesn't have to be the end of those questions, okay? This doesn't have to be the end of sharing that information. Just know that. And what I would like to encourage you guys to do as well, if you weren't able to answer, to say what you wanted to say and to voice that opinion. In a little while, there's going to be a way that you can send that to the organization. I would love for you to take notes, jot down things, and let's be honest, there's going to be people in the room that have no interest in speaking out loud on the microphone. Please write these things down. Share them with the Arts Council through the link that we're going to give you in just a little while, okay? So, as we continue the conversation, and there has been a lot of information covered already. When we're thinking about the use of AI as it relates to the evolution of it, if you will, can we speak to how AI shapes the landscape of perception, representation, reality, non-reality, diversity? Is there a positive way it can do those things? Is there a negative way it can do those things? But like before, I'm going to ask that we speak to experiences, and I would like new voices. If you have spoken, I would like someone new to speak. So think about our topic. Take a moment if you need it to think. Diversity and representation. How is it shaping the landscape? We have one right down here. Do I have another? You have not spoken yet. Great. Yep. Please feel free.
So in terms of diversity and representation, I mean, there's a thing in data. I didn't, attest to my experience, but I program AI, and I work with musicians locally. In terms of diversity and representation, I mean, there's a saying in data that's garbage in, garbage out, meaning whatever, you put in, you get out. What you get out of AI is quite literally the result of everybody's inputs, and every time you give it a prompt, it trains the algorithm on what you're going to say next, and how to answer it for you, and how to keep you using the software. That's why they always make you happy at the end. But reality versus perception, well, the perception is people can read about it online, they can read the news, watch the news, but the reality is back to this woman's point. Black and brown communities are crazy impacted. In fact, they take the brunt of the pain from AI in the landscape, and they're the reason we have art and music and quite literally anything that makes America beautiful. Okay? Black and brown people suffer the most, and they're the reason we have art.
Thank you for your response. We have someone in the very front, but is that who had their hand up a minute ago?
He hasn't talked.
Okay, let's take this one in the very front. Consider, before you respond, you can respond however, consider building on the comments also. If someone speaks and you have a response to that, we'll try to get to you. I know that is proving to be more difficult in the conversation. Go right ahead, please.
So I would like to address the question of diversity in AI and the irony of the word diversity in AI. I have a daughter in school who is part of an AI program somewhere associated with the president trying to present new problem-solving skills. And what my daughter is taught is to basically take the summation of the internet and the ideas of the internet and to go with it. To take the average of the conglomerate, the total thoughts of the internet, shuffle it in through a program, and to take those ideas and to go with it. We are taking the young minds that have not been smushed into the mold, have not been put through the cookie cutter, and telling them to go with what is the average thinking. Did you get to be up here, to be the artist that you are, by going with the average thinking, by going with what comes out of summation? Because diversity is averaged out and flatlined. And that is what she is getting through these programs. The average idea and the average solution to average problems.
Thank you for sharing that. Can we respond to that? Does anybody want to respond to that? I need new voices. I need new perspectives. He hasn't got the dog. You have not.
He has not.
I said one word.
You're right, everybody's spoken. Xavier, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Diversity, representation, and landscape in the arts will be affected by the names of the artists that we actually get to see from the Shreveport Arts Council and what they produce. I don't know a single name of the prompter for any of the images I saw on the marketing campaign stuff, but I can name Brittany Hazelton in the room, Chong, I can name Max Swans, I can name a number of artists who I know through our community have been making names for what we can produce in Shreveport. And that, unfortunately, we want to talk about diversity, that will turn into just white, simple paste of food if we keep doing that. We've got to put our representative artists out. Yep.
Thank you for responding. Can anyone speak to somewhere that you've seen that opposes the perspective so far? Anyone? Okay, and then we're going to have to move on. I would like for you to. You spoke already. I apologize. I'm just trying to get some new perspectives. Would you like to share? Okay, right here in the.
My experience, reality versus perception. I'm a graphic designer, digital artist, mixed media artist. So I don't do boxes well, so I try everything at every turn. So my experience with AI has been, the reality was that I was ignoring it. I totally ignored it and didn't think it would even help me. But then I started listening to rooms of people, other artists on both sides, digital and whatever. So I've been learning about AI on YouTube, on X Live. So I keep myself informed as much as I can as I work, but I have that comfort. I'm actually working on the computer and listening. So my experience has been that I've just seen it change so much that I had to either use it as a tool and just realize it. But at the end of the day, it's one of those things that I kind of like just respect for what it is, and I like to learn more about, so I spend that time.
Okay, thank you. Can it be used to bring diversity to light? Can it be used to show people, to bring the people forward? Would you like to respond to that?
Yeah, and I'm a software engineer by trade. I'm Demetrius Norman. I'm born and raised in the area. I'm a software engineer by trade. I worked in big tech for almost 2 years, building automation, energy management. I was with Apple for about 2 years. So I've actually worked on machine learning, AI, worked in a team of software engineers where I was the only black face. So you talk about diversity. One of the biggest things we talked about was the inherent discrimination and bias in the algorithms because we don't have representation of women, black people, people of color, actually developing the tech. So when you're talking about developing, and I do apologize, I don't want you, I know you feel a little awkward because of the responses you're getting.
No, you're good.
I tried not to speak earlier because I'm more of a techie than an artist. But what I've seen in the Shreveport area is non-tech professionals kind of talking over the citizens about concerns they have about tech that are legitimate concerns that are actually published research, right? And like I could cite sources with everything that the people are saying, and I think people have given me some righteous feedback about the dangers of AI, especially if your concern is diversity, because not only can it not produce diversity or bring diversity to the forefront, you're dealing with a multifaceted problem. Like, I don't know if you know the history of intellectual property. Our Patent and Trademark Office was founded in 1790 when citizenship was excluded to white men. So 95% of those applications, if you do the research, have been exclusively white and male, meaning women are in the disparity as far as owning their work. Minorities are in the disparity as far as owning their work. So a lot of their work gets co-opted, like the history of music, art, creative stuff like what y'all do, right? It's inherently white male centered. And among tech bros, with the big tech companies, that has accelerated. That has not gotten better. We are not more diverse in the tech world. We're less diverse. So it's very hard to say that marginalized people, a lot of which are artists, are somehow going to be more represented in a way that's more diverse when it's counterintuitive to how the companies and the algorithms are set up. They're just collecting feedback. So it doesn't create art. It collects art from people that have already made art, like a glorified Google search engine, and just spits out other people's work to you.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. I'm going to go to one more. Natasha, can you come all the way to the back?
I'm over here now.
Oh, you moved. Strategy. strategy.
Yeah, sad that we need that. So, I think AI's ability to cultivate diversity is about the same as eating cereal with a spoon. In the fact that it just kind of scoops everything up. And of course it's an effective tool, but wouldn't it be better, instead of using a spoon to eat cereal, to just throw out the trash anyway because cereal's not good for you? What I'm getting at is that we don't need AI to cultivate diversity, nor would it even be good. One of the reasons why, as the gentleman voiced over there, is that it's only capable of using what's on the internet. And anybody who's been on the internet for longer than a couple seconds knows the sheer amount of racism that exists on the internet. There has been numerous times where images have been generated and they have come out horrifically racist because of previous existing data on the internet. The best way to cultivate diversity is to simply be diverse in the people you know and the people you talk to.
All right. You guys have a lot of really important things to say. You do. I hope you know that you're being listened to, you're heard. I hear you. I appreciate your feedback. Let's keep going. When we think about our chosen profession or our creative exploration, many of you have already touched on this. So maybe this one, we won't run out of time. We keep running. My timekeeper over there is like, you're out of time. We've talked a lot about how it's impacted you. So I'm gonna ask again for new voices to share something that we haven't heard. To share how in one of these fields, how it's either affected, and I would like to hear how it's influenced. So we'll start with this young lady in the middle right here. And then we're gonna come to this one. And then we'll come back there. I need these responses to be quick, guys. Quick.
Okay. Sorry, I'm trying not to look at everybody, I get nervous. I think the way that AI affected me is mostly when I go to look up reference photos for my illustration work. A lot of the time I see a lot of AI images and sometimes I'm like, dang, that was a cool idea. But also it's like conflicting because I'm like, I don't want to use that. That's other people's work.
Okay.
And so it's just getting harder to find more and more original photos from photographers and such. So
thank you.
I'm just trying.
Okay. And can we come right here in the front? Xavier, will you go back there? Thank you.
I'm also nervous. I had someone in a position of power at my job take a multi-month creative project of mine and put it in a large language model without my consent. And it felt like I lacked autonomy over what happened to my work, and I felt really powerless.
Wow.
And I just wanted to share.
Yes, thank you for sharing. Please know that if you are nervous, it's okay. Thank you for sharing. Go right ahead.
Hey, how y'all doing? I'm a musician and a performer, so literary and performing.
Thank you.
My experience has been seeing the experience of creating art be stripped away. So later on down the road, when I do link up with different musicians or different quote-unquote producers who have used generative AI, they don't have the actual skills, so your time actually gets wasted because you're going based off products they put out but haven't experienced or built with their hands.
Okay, let's bounce off of this. You can, if you were done, you can hand that back. Let's talk about skills as creative professionals. Xavier, will you come right here? Can you rebound off that?
I think a big thing is there's a lapse of people using AI to learn fundamentals and creating the work. So if you don't have fundamentals, you can't necessarily even use AI to assist you in creating the work.
Okay.
Because you miss a step along the way. You don't have the eye or the guidelines for how it's supposed to look.
Okay, yeah, thank you. What about, does anybody want to bounce? Did you have something to bounce right off of that? Let's, Xavier, do you mind right here? And then we're gonna.
Well, first of all, I just want to apologize to all the musicians ahead of time. I do write songs, and one of the things I utilized was AI for not the songwriting itself, but the vocals and the production. And it was a way for me to sort of hear what I created come alive, because I'm not a vocalist and I don't have access to producers. So it was a tool I use to actually, see my work come to fruition.
Sure. Thank you very much for sharing that. Did you want to speak? Matt, right here, we got it. No, Torsha. You do not, you may sit.
I'm Emil Dumars, I'm a literary writer, literary artist, and I avoid AI because the humanity that's required to go into the work, I don't feel that a computer or a program or an algorithm can produce that. There's certain turns of phrases and nuances and dialects that come to play when you're writing that, again, requires humanity.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Do we have a new, okay, right here, not you. Yes. You go ahead, new perspective.
Hi, I'm Casey, I'm your husband. I'm an educator, and as much as, I feel like the toothpaste is out of the tube with AI, and it's been out of the tube for a long time. Anybody under the age of 30 remembers having to go to the library and write that paper and not being able to Google anything. And if you're in school and you're under the age of 30, I'm not hating on you. When we were in school and we were younger, if you weren't a good student, you fell behind really fast. And now you get to play catch up. And I feel like as an educator, specifically at a Title I school, where a lot of my students are challenged, the idea that AI certainly comes with a cost, but it does allow students and people who need that catch-up tool to just be who they can be. It does allow. Now, that does not come without cost. It needs to be governed and regulated. It needs to have, guidelines and restrictions on it. And obviously, it's not foolproof, but it does. When we're talking about diversity in arts and AI, any of those arts, there's an artist out there who did not come with the skills necessary to be an artist, and AI can help them open their mind to something that maybe they wouldn't have done. Anywhere from any of those arts to small engine repair, So I feel like there's a cost, but the toothpaste is out of the tube, and we just got to figure out what we're going to allow the toothpaste to do that out here. So.
Thank you.
I'd like to bounce off that.
Does a new voice want to rebound off of that? You may. Can you say it quickly? Great. Let's do that, and then Xavier right there.
I understand the point made by, I don't remember your name, but this gentleman right here and this lovely woman right over there about how AI can be used as a tool to bridge together gaps in skills and gaps in connections. But that's why infrastructure like SRAC is even here, to connect artists together so that artists can help bridge those gaps, so that children in schools who do not have access to a lot of the materials or skills-based things that they need can reach teachers and mentors who can actually help them and help them learn how to create art and how to bridge those gaps and skills through humanist means. And that is why we do not need AI, especially not in SRAC, which is the elephant in the room that no one here is talking about.
Okay, let's do this gentleman right here first. Yes, please feel free.
Hello, I'm Abraham Fascio. I'm a visual artist here in town, and I agree wholeheartedly exactly with the fundamentals being learned. The human aspect of this must be the whole focus of SRAC. We are dealing with people, not machines. The whole thing about this is that you either want to keep the community sound with the skills that came through the fundamentals learned or how they picked them up, expressed in the work we create and such, using AI as a tool, but not as the answer. We don't want to be having this waiting at a finish line when we have to run the race. So in this case right now, it would be better for this council to keep it human more than machine. Because the second given to the machine doesn't care for the flesh. So I give you on this part right here. As an artist, I study a lot of stuff on machines and also studying stuff about digital art. Used as a tool, not as the end-all be-all for me taking all my tools and stuff and throwing it away, all my experiences with my art out of here, and just saying give it to the machine. Give it back, keep it with the people, and I guarantee you the support will always be there, but the machine could give it a shit less about it.
I appreciate your response. Thank you for sharing. Latorsha, will you? Yes, go right ahead. We're just throwing the time card out the window. It's fine.
I'm not an artist.
This is a good conversation.
I don't make a living as an artist.
That's okay.
I really don't even express myself much in art. But I've raised money for the Arts Council for the past about 20 years. And I do it because I like living in a community with artists. I think it's important and enriching. And I like kids. And I like people. And I just want to say something. One of the reasons I keep working with the Arts Council is because they are so human. And I know for a fact that they have humans creating and working and reaching out to artists, and that's why I do what I do. I mean, I don't get paid, and it's a pretty good chunk of time. I do it because I love artists, I love art. So I just want to say I really appreciate everything everyone's saying, but from my perspective, I see an arts council that is intensely interested in human contact and humans and working in community and connecting people. And I just wanted to say that. I really appreciate all of you artists, like so much. You make my world so rich, and living in this community so rich. Thank you for everything you have to say and all your thoughts. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for adding in. And this conversation wouldn't be happening if people didn't want to hear your opinions. They do. I can have a script all night long, and you guys have shown me that this script is going to go lots of different directions. That's okay. These are just prompts. The conversation's great. Thank you. And having rebuttals, wonderful. Debating, awesome. Let's go to you. Yes.
Hello, my name is Candace Orange, and I just wanted to speak from an artist's perspective. I grew up in this community. I am a product of SRAC's programs. I was in Project Talent for 4 years. I won Best of Show in elementary. From those programs, I was encouraged to go to art school from all the artists that taught in the schools. I went to Moore College of Art. I had an $85,000 scholarship to go there. So I left here, went to Philly, then I left there and went to Clark, Atlanta, because they gave me another scholarship. I graduated with a studio arts degree in advertising design, and I have been freelancing for the last 12 years since college. I moved back 2 years ago, and I have been working with SRAC as the marketing manager. I have worked with over 300 businesses and brands. I've worked with OWN, BET, VH1. So saying all of that, working with different brands, I'm conflicted with AI, even this topic, and as staff, we're not supposed to say anything, but I also think that as a human, because people think our work is generated by AI, it is not. The effect is, as a marketing manager and you're working with multiple brands, everybody has different guidelines. And in marketing, we can do things, you can use an image and you can actually design something. So the effect is sometimes your work, somebody might think, oh, you put that in a prompt, and you did not. I have years to back up that I'm human and I'm an artist, and I've worked with many people. You can look me up, and my work is not AI. I've creative directed, I've been on set where we are photographing the people. I've had budgets where we can actually pay for photographs, and I've had budgets where they say, hey, you're going to have to find a stock image because we don't have them. So I think when we're having this conversation, I know we're going into AI and marketing, but when we're having these conversations, we need to think about people that budgets. It's a lot of things that goes into marketing. So I just wanted to put that out there because I have these young ladies here who are in graphic design, and I get you. Canva. So a lot of you, I'm pretty sure, have used Canva. But that is taking over graphic design and has people think they can do my job that I went to school for, and I have a degree. Well, we're not having that conversation, but that is the conversation. So, but at the same time, I can't hate on you because you don't know nothing about design, but you might not have $1,600 because that's how much charge. You might not have that to pay me. And I said, but you know what? I can help you with my eye. Because people, and that's what I want to encourage you and everybody that are artists and you're coming up in school and you're thinking your job is going to be taken. It's always going to be something. People pay me for me. SRAC is paying me for me and my talents. So I do want to say, and we weren't going to address the photo that was used. All those graphics were created by myself. We weren't going to address that, but I'm gonna go ahead and address it because I am the artist behind it. We are not generating art in an AI script. But I thank you that you think my work is that great that it was generated. And you moving forward, we know that we are not, I thought the little girl was cute. But as a creative process, just to give you insight, some people don't know how the creative process goes. So you're like, oh, let's use a little girl. And people say, we don't like that. And that's what marketing is. You get
Candace, let's dive in. I appreciate you. Let's dive into how the creative exploration of marketing versus other creative professional fields as it plays along with AI. So thinking, before I go to the next slide, I see hands already. Ready? Okay. How is the creative process different when it comes to the job of marketing versus creative professionals? And that's pretty much what we're about to talk about. And we have negative 10 minutes to do it, which is fine. So, let's keep our focus. I would like to start here. I see a new hand there that I haven't seen. And a new hand there, okay? So, in the back. We'll start there, right next to Xavier. Go right ahead.
Hi, so I've worked alongside SRAC since 2021, and it is run by wonderful people and wonderful humans, but I don't think we're here to debase SRAC or insult them. I think we're here to talk about the misstep of using generative AI. And in my day job, I do concept art and animation, and those are both fields that have been poisoned by generative AI, and jobs have been stolen and stuff.
I wanted to stop you just for a sec. Are you going to speak to this topic? Or are you?
Yes.
Okay, go right ahead.
And I will say, currently, I spend a lot of my time cleaning up generative AI, and so it shouldn't be in any field. It should not be the end-all be-all if it is used. It needs to be touched by a human to be what we need.
Thank you. Xavier, will you come up here, please? Natasha, will you come over here?
Okay, I'm all about working smarter, not harder, and getting that bag. I understand, but when we have to talk about ethics, which we have, I understand that we started with that one instead of finishing with it. But AI is both detrimental and unsustainable to our community. I've spent the entirety of my career making sure that I honed all of my crafts so that I could deliver authentic, real, true designs to the local community and local businesses because I actually care about them. So humans know what is uncanny, and they know whether they know it's AI or not. They know when something feels off. But local businesses and organizations being handed reductive, stolen, uninspired, white-centric AI slop is capitalistic in nature. So it hinders both our Black and brown communities, it hinders the local community, and the success of those businesses and organizations. It's predatory in nature. And if you don't care about that aspect, care about your bag and how you're ruining your salary and everyone else is after you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah!
Nothing else needs to be said. You said it all.
Let me just reiterate what my role is. I'm just a facilitator. Just trying to facilitate conversation.
It's been a bit biased.
Do what?
It's been a bit biased, to be honest. The way that it's been facilitated has been a bit one-sided. I'm just saying that it's honest feedback to you. I don't have a dog in the fight.
Yeah. You keep cutting people off who have, like, things to share.
Tonight.
We're a bowling alley with bumpers.
I talked about the tone.
And I have a speech disability. I would not get on the mic because you interrupt people. You silence artists and brown Black people.
I'm not trying to silence anybody. I'm trying to help have conversation. And this is hard. Would you like to be up here doing this?
The issue is that when people are giving a perspective that's more in alignment with a certain narrative, you didn't interject. And I just observed through most of the time that I've been here.
Excuse me, please.
Okay.
When,
I'm just being honest.
I understand, and I'm glad you're being honest. I am not opposed to that.
But your husband stood up and he made a pro-AI statement. You let a fundraiser for SRAC take up more time than all the people here, and you let somebody who works for SRAC and admitted to making the photo.
When we began the conversation, ma'am, I understand. I understand.
Everybody has an opinion, and if you're uncomfortable by it and you're not biased, an unbiased person would not be uncomfortable by listening.
I'm not uncomfortable by any of the conversations. What I would like to express is that I would like the conversation to have different sides. I don't mind.
This whole argument has been about us trying to let SRAC hear what we have to say. This whole time you've been cutting us off. Every single time we have an opinion against SRAC. You just want one answer. We just want one answer to one question, and we're not getting that. That's what we're
Tonight wasn't designed to give you any answers. Tonight had
And what
good
are we here
objectives.
for?
Then
To
why are we
create
here?
tonight, you have your own goals for being here. Is that correct?
Yes, the question is, if SRAC is going to use AI art, what's the artist for?
What does this have anything
May I
to
have,
do with any
please?
of
May I
this?
have the floor, please?
Because we know you guys are good people and you care and we care and we are just trying
Yes.
to have a productive conversation, which I know you want, but that includes listening to us.
It does. It does include listening. But there's structure to the conversation that we were trying to have. But you are clearly not interested in the structure, and there's a purpose for it, and that's okay. That is okay. It is. I understand. I hear, and everyone in here hears you. The whole point is for everyone to hear you.
Look, Matt, I have one thing to say.
I
have to speak. We all know, generally, besides a few other opinions, that AI collectively is wrong. What we want to know is why SRAC has not come out to take accountability, but why they have started this whole thing to make us fight against each other. Your questions have been collectively, what are your opinions against each other, and not what could SRAC do to improve their arts council, because they can be.
I think the confusion here is that
Thank you.
I think the confusion here is, and this is the baseline of it, is that this was not meant. This conversation, the efforts of the conversation, were not meant to be pointed at the organization. It was meant to be an opportunity to learn, and by showing aggression and anger about a situation that does relate to AI, it is AI, yes, you are correct, but I understand that, and I felt it. The hopes were that we could simply come together to talk about AI, and we did a lot of that. We did. And I do have to interrupt people, but many people were not interested in having the conversation that you were asked to have. You were more interested in having the conversation you planned to have.
Let Sean talk. She started the conversation. Let Sean Luke talk. Thank you. Yeah, let her talk.
I do not have any knowledge about the conversation that was started. Thank you.
Yes, why are you here?
That's a great question. Would you like for me to explain again?
No, we'd like Sean to talk.
They could have paid an artist. A local artist. Any artist.
To be fair.
She's from North Louisiana, y'all. Quit acting like she's not from where we from. Stop it. Like it's, I love you. She is from North Louisiana. She is a public artist. She teaches university in Monroe.
It's okay. Thank you. It's okay. It's okay.
Guys.
So that this doesn't get out of hand.
Everyone needs to at least respect our moderator. She was asked to be here for a reason, and she's a non-biased third party.
Thank you, John.
We are trying to have a different conversation.
We are, okay, I hear you. I would like to simply state that there is another conversation you would rather have, and I do understand that. I do. I see you. If you would like to put your hand down, I do see you. I do. I understand that there is another conversation you would like to have. The intentions of tonight were to create a conversation that could answer those questions. It was to create dialogue, to learn how, and there were so many amazing responses. Negative, positive, none of that mattered. I am an unbiased response. I don't mind who says what. I don't. There were opportunities for differences of perspectives. And I do understand that many people would like for this to have been a different conversation. But you were asked to attend to talk about this topic and to allow me to facilitate the conversation. I'm not sure that we're capable of continuing with the conversation that we would like to have as much as we would like to have it. I would love to continue with the conversation and get to our takeaways, which is only a couple slides away.
The question was simple. AI yes or AI no?
That wasn't the question.
Yes, it is.
Thank you for coming. I understand that's your question. I do. That wasn't the question that was posed tonight. Which question? Okay. Do we want to continue the conversation? Because we can't have the conversation that we're not here to have. That's why I've been interrupting.
The people in this room are the ones who...
No, we're not. We're not able to pivot to... It's not an allowing. There's no way to have that conversation right here. That's not...
Everybody in this room is trying to have it. They're telling you you're cutting them off. You're not allowing it.
You're not picking people that have spoken.
I think the fact that you would like to have that conversation is understood, and that can then be discussed and decided how that can move forward. That's all I can do right now for that, and that's not an individual response.
Ultimately, it's not on you; it's on the people who are on the Arts Council.
Okay. Yes. Thank you.
I think you have done an amazing job facilitating to the best of your power, but I personally would like to hear from the Arts Council themselves on how they're going to address the issue at hand.
I appreciate
It's not constituents' jobs to educate you about the harms of AI. There are experts for that. There are people in the room this evening who want to have their voice heard about how they are impacted as artists.
I understand.
And all I have personally heard over and over is they don't want AI being used.
Yes,
so I think
we heard that.
The best response is how is SRAC going to address that?
Okay.
Thank you.
And that has been heard. Thank you. That has been heard. I don't think it will be helpful, but I appreciate that has been heard.
I would like to talk about marketing and AI.
Marketing, I think
That's the slide we're on.
It is.
It's relevant.
No, it's not. Sure, yes, you've had your hand up for 10 minutes. Okay, absolutely. We're almost out of time, though. I've got 2 people that would like to give responses. Natasha, will you come right here, please? And I'll give you my microphone.
So I appreciate the young lady standing up, and I understand that you did the marketing that apparently so many local artists were upset about.
We'll hold out for you.
I appreciate you saying that there was an artist behind it, because I am really embarrassed about the behavior of local artists attacking you. And then for white women in this room to then deny that the work that you did and say that it was AI once again, this is really embarrassing. As an artist, I use AI as a tool. I think many artists use AI as a tool, and they don't even realize they're using AI. Whether you're using it in Photoshop and cutting images out,
Goes back to
but to be attacking people for the work that they're making, when is it art? It's art when an artist is involved. And you told us you were an artist, and that I'm really embarrassed, and I am really sorry that this happened. Thank you for standing up.
Thank you for your comment. So we have about 15, 12, 13 more minutes. I am happy to let this conversation, because it can't go the route that it was going. As much as I would love to discuss accessibility, I would love to discuss the other topics that I had brought. I would love to hear those discussions. I'm not going to discuss them. Would anyone like to continue the conversation on marketing? Is there anything anyone would like to say? Okay, we have Natasha, will you mind coming this way, please? Xavier, will you come this way? There's one.
I'm getting to my son.
Let's go right there, and then we'll come over here. Xavier, will you come right here?
So I would like to start off with thanking everyone for being here. This is something that no one got possible, and I would like to thank Rebecca for reaching out to the artists, because in the entire history of my experiences with SRAC, there's never been someone to actually reach out to the artists to hear us out. And I appreciate that more than I can ever express. And for the board members to be here, sitting with us in this crowd, not up on stage, not in VIP seats, but in this audience with us, listening to the same conversation. But that is also something that AI would have overlooked. And I was asked by several people why the human aspect of marketing is so important. And just like Miss Candace over there, who is exceptional, every single person here is exceptional. And what AI does in marketing is takes the top hits, the top of the charts, the top 25, the pop art, the portrait, landscape, highlight, HDR blasted photo, and shove it in your face, because that is what every magazine cover looks like. And what the big thing we needed, the human connection we needed to sell something to us, was what we needed in out-of-the-box thinking. Every movie with that aha light bulb moment, every person who's painted a mural or made a sculpture and something clicked, was not the generic average that came out of your summary. And my best example I can give in marketing is usually in an interview they ask, sell me this pen or sell me this paperclip. And the difference would be AI would give you all the functionality of a paperclip, and the human would give you 4 pieces of paper. And what do you need next? A paperclip. AI doesn't need that paperclip. AI doesn't need that sculpting tool. AI doesn't need bandages to cover your fingers when you've nicked them over and over again. With your tools when you're covered in paint. It doesn't need a Brillo pad to get the paint off of your fingers. It doesn't have that experience. Thank you. So marketing to people takes a human being. I'm not arguing that there are those out there who use AI as tools. I am not one of them. I am what you would call tech illiterate, oddly. Since I worked in IT, I worked malware analyst, I worked in networking, I work in medicine right now.
Thank you for your response.
And part of what our...
Okay. Patricia, do you mind coming back here with this person? Raise your hand again so that she knows what it is.
I'd like to thank you for what you just said, because SRAC is not the enemy. I love SRAC. I love the people that work there and all the things they do for artists here. Artists are not the enemy. I have learned more from connections with creatives that I've met in working with SRAC than I ever did anywhere else. But we are riding on a runaway technology train right now. And let's look at it from the beginning. Technology is designed to eliminate the need for a human being to perform a task. Now we've gotten to AI that can eliminate the need for a lot of human beings to perform their tasks. What is there for them to do? Obviously, it's not going to be make art, because the AI can control robots now that will produce original paintings from the prompts. They're not real art, though. We, the artists, are the ones who create that.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Xavier's going to do that. Okay, let's take one more response.
How y'all doing? I'm not about to talk about the marketplace or anything like that. I'm about to speak solely on what I've seen transpire in front of our eyes currently, okay? AI is not original, okay? AI is based off of a bunch of things that were turned into the internet, whatever you want to call it, which is great for educational purposes. But for artistic purposes, it is plagiarism or copyright. Now, with that being said, I heard a lot about the black community being tampered with by AI. Unfortunately, I just watched a lot of my so-called supportive black people watch this lady say she made it from, did you make it from scratch, you said? Or how'd you, whatever the case may be, she said she made it and there was no support for it. It wasn't a, okay, you made it, we salute you for making it, we may have messed up and thought it was AI, but are you going to keep using AI for SRAC? It wasn't any of that. It seems as if we completely left the topic at hand for everything that we came to even do. And it created even more separation for the artist. And I think AI is creating a huge separation between angry artists, subtle artists, and original artists. And I think that, you know, if we're gonna go forward with this as SRAC or whoever it is, it should be used as educational, and it should be literally used and said it's being used. or we need to say who's originally created it so they can get the credit. That's the simple point that I see from this whole thing. I'm kind of in the middle with it, but I do not agree with AI being used for artists because we put our time and our effort into it, and it's plagiarism / copyright. That's all I have to say.
Thank you for sharing, and thank you for adding another voice. Is Mr. Henry still here? Yes. Mr. Henry, could I read what you said earlier, or would you like to read it? Okay. I would like to call Mr. Henry back up. We're going to wrap up the night.
Hang on 1 second. Wait, really quick. I want to say something. Can I say something?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Would you like a microphone?
Sure. That's fine. I don't care. I'm sorry, Henry. I don't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, it's okay.
Thank you for coming, Leo. I appreciate it. Oh, it's loud. So I'm an artist in the community. A lot of y'all know who I am. I've started, literally, my art career started sitting crisscross applesauce in New Orleans in the street, selling my art in the street, right? My early life began in Shreveport, though, and I was inspired by a lot of what SRAC has done and a lot of the support that they get. They get support from people like Bill Joyce, and he created Roly Poly Oly. That's very inspiring to me as an artist. Being so involved with the art and being early, I watched people transcend and go into new avenues with art. So some people use AI as a medium to use for their art, and so people train language models using their art to create things that are AI created. And as an artist, I've used AI to learn more about coding. That's one thing too, is that like I can ask it questions and it can give me some code, and that's up to my discernment to figure out if this is a true code that runs or not. And I gotta know something in the little knowledge bank a little bit here before I can just say, hey AI, make me this thing. As far as it scraping information on the internet, that's cool, whatever. A gentleman earlier tonight mentioned that if it hits the internet, then the AI can scrape it. Well, right now we're looking at blockchain tech, and blockchain technology allows you to have your human authentication saying, hey, I made this, and if it were to be scraped on the internet anywhere else, it points back to you, back to your provenance, being it's an authenticity. So it's a certificate of authenticity, some of the stuff that it's looking at right now. So we're really on the forefront of some new stuff. I really didn't want to talk too much. I mean, I really shout out to everyone who showed up tonight. It's sad that some of the artists that have left, I mean, I know all of them, and it's really interesting. It's just, I really do appreciate the time that's taken, but like, there's new ways, like right now we have like Scope Miami, Art Basel Miami, these art fairs, these international fairs, people are winning awards using AI, they're getting cash prizes because they made something out of their language model that they did. And there's judges and curators all up and down the thing. And then for me to witness, like, from my like humble beginning to watch how like, oh, well, as an artist to get further, like, SRAC is competing and contending at a global scale where there's like Louisiana is being met with like, I don't know if y'all remember Silicon Bayou, but Silicon Bayou was a thing back in New Orleans where a bunch of tech dudes come together to try to like, let's get the blockchain introduced into New Orleans, etc. But there was unicorn apps created in Louisiana. There's a lot of opportunity. Thank you. I appreciate your time. Shout out everybody that showed up.
Thank you very much. Now, the time is 7:57. You took a couple of my minutes, but it's okay.
I'm going to take one more, and then I'm going to let you do, then I'll close us.
Well,
Mr. Henry.
I have something that I wrote, and as I've listened, I want to just tell you all something. As president of the Shreveport Regional Arts Council, I've been president for probably 12 or more years. Why am I involved with SRAC? Because of the arts. I'm a visual artist. Some of you know that, some of you don't know that. But it's important that we support the arts. I read something, and I want to share this as part of kind of a closure. So it raises the question, where do you stand on AI? You know, we can twist this around a lot of different ways, and it boils down to, where do you stand on AI and on AI art? The pros and cons of AI are still unfolding, and the technology evolves. The conversation will continue to shift. Some artists are embracing AI as a tool, while others see it as a threat to creative industries. Wherever you stand, one thing is clear. Human creativity will always have something AI cannot replicate. Cannot replicate passion, emotion, and the power to tell stories in a way that resonates deeply. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. That feels like what we're all trying to say tonight, right? That could resonate with everyone. Am I right? Yes. No one's wrong. No one is wrong in this room. None of your voices were meant to be silenced tonight. I appreciate each person that came tonight. I appreciate you standing up and feeling like you had something to say and saying it. And I apologize if you felt like you were being silenced. But I had a job tonight to try to keep us on topic. And that's okay. The Shreveport Regional Arts Council would love to hear more from you. If you felt like you did not get to say everything you wanted to, please send your information. You were heard tonight, and as much as you may or may not believe it, I think everyone in this room is on the same page. As a creative professional, you want the arts to be people-based, correct?
Yes.
Yes. I'm right there with you. I hope that you can go away from this and understand that every voice that had something to say, you're valued. I appreciate you, and I want to say that I know the Shreveport Arts Council valued what you had to say. They're listening, they heard it, and they will get back to you. They will work on these things. So, as we leave today, I had some takeaways that I was hoping to give. One thing that I have learned tonight, you gotta be on your toes. And then sometimes no matter what you want the conversation to do, sometimes it's just not gonna happen. And that's okay. I wish we could have talked about some of the things that were up there, but that's all right. I hope you felt like you were heard. And I hope that you're able to walk away and know that the Arts Council will do everything in their power to be who you need them to be. Because you're their people. They're here because of you. And 40 people that left already. I appreciate you for coming. We look forward to hearing more from you. Send us more info if you have to. Please have a wonderful night and be careful going home.
I just want to remind you again that, as we said when we opened the meeting tonight, this is an opportunity for SRAC to hear you, and based on this information, we can create policies and we can create programs to support you. So we want to hear from you more. Please take a picture or just contact us, because we are here for you. We will be here for you, and you'll see more. So thank you, and have a safe trip home.
Thanks, guys, for stopping and watching. A lot of passion came out of tonight. So, we're going to see what the future holds and see what Shreveport Regional Arts Council's decision will be in the long run. Hopefully we'll hear something back from them soon. Obviously, a lot of people are very passionate about this subject. We heard some supporters of it, and we heard a lot of people opposing it. So, a lot of different perspectives, even from tech people. So it was definitely an interesting conversation. There's Ryan.
Hi.
So
support your artists.
Yes,
local artists or otherwise.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Real people artists.
Thank you guys so much. Y'all take care. We'll talk about it more.